Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to go ahead and share with you a real gem that I have found for language arts, writing, grammar, and just these essential foundational English skills that we really want to have our children to have a strong foundation in. I was previously using another curriculum that I shared not too long ago, but I found that honestly, though I had liked it, it was not giving us the rigor that I wanted and the ease and the simplicity and honestly making the learning enjoyable and building upon the foundation with small chunks that my children could really enjoy working with and learning from. So I happened to come across Easy Grammar. Easy Grammar is a system that uses simple and easy methods to get your grammar foundation down pat. Easy Grammar comes in a different array of series. I'll go ahead and show you. I have a brochure that came with my order. So Easy Grammar comes with the foundational books, which are the Easy Grammar, coming from Easy Grammar Grade 1 all the way through Easy Grammar 6. And then you have Easy Grammar Plus, which is called a non-grade level book. It uses a prepositional approach that helps the child to isolate their grammar understanding, specifically working on a sentence and seeing what areas actually fit and why they do. For example, it will break down your noun and your verb, separating it from your prepositional phrases, which then can help you to understand and isolate the main idea of your sentence, the main object of your sentence, the subject of your sentence, which when we're doing our grammar, we often have to rally with. We're often asked, what is the noun? What is the verb? And if you're able to isolate those key elements, done in this way of separating out the prepositional phrases, which usually tell us location and really string the thoughts together, you can then figure out sentence diagramming, you can then figure out what your adjectives are, and all the other array of grammatical nuances that we use to really make beautiful language and sentences. So I really do appreciate their approach, which I have not found in any other curriculum thus far. So moving on through, you are also going to have your daily grams, which are broken up into very easy 10-minute daily lessons. You have 180 lessons going through your whole school calendar. The concepts are presented in a cycle so that you gain a mastery of learning instead of just moving on from one concept to the next and not really grasping what you need. It will always revisit some core concepts, and I'm going to show you an example in my students' 5th grade daily grams and 7th grade daily grams. In addition to your Easy Grammar, your daily grams, as you move up in the grades, you're then going to move on to Easy Grammar Ultimate Series, which is similar to your daily grams, but now at a higher level. And it goes from 180 daily teaching lessons, grade 8, all the way up through 12th grade. Beyond that, to make a complete system, we have our Easy Writing, which focuses on construction, clauses, items in series, compound sentences, relative clauses, appositives, semicolons, and more. I really do appreciate this system, and let me go ahead and show you how I have decided to use it. I am using it in a particular way that may be of interest to you in order to gain the skills your students need and even save you money. So let's take a dive right in. I'm using the Easy Grammar Plus as my core book. Since this is non-grade level, I'm using this with my 5th and 7th grader so that we have a core to work with. This can even go on up into high school and even into adult learning. So I chose to go ahead and use this one instead of ordering the separate Easy Grammar levels for 5th and 7th grade. Instead of doing that, I'm compiling everything into that Easy Grammar Plus book and meshing the grades together because there is definitely redundancy in grammar. As we know, each level you go, you are still revisiting the same concepts but building upon it. And since this one is non-grade level, which technically, if you're looking at this chart, it would start at about 7th grade, you can still use this in upper elementary school and then beyond, as I mentioned. It has reviews, tests, cumulative reviews, and cumulative tests. So let's take a look in and see so that you can have an idea of how it's set up. So you have your introduction under your table of contents, talking to the teacher about how the system is set up, why the method is so effective and how to use the program. You have your prepositions, and you will see that we are spending quite a bit of time in each of the sections. So taking a look here, we're also going to be going through our verbs and associated information. We're going to be going through our nouns, interjections, conjunctions, adjectives, types of sentences, sentence fragments and run-ons, phrases and clauses, adverbs. So as you can see, quite a bit of time in each area so that you are really solidifying the information. And for the repetitive areas, even the author has stated you don't have to do every single one. You want to tailor it according to what your needs are. But she has added additional sheets that she says can help you to really work on it in the way that suits you and your children best. So we move on to the pronouns, punctuation, capitalization, and even helping you to develop your skill in writing a letter, which is so very important. Oftentimes, our children and even some of us as adults, we don't know the proper way to address a letter and how to communicate with people effectively. And this is so very key. We really want to make sure that we're helping our children know how to read, of course, first and foremost, well, develop their own sentences, and express themselves in a clear and understandable way so that they can relay important information and really carry on a well-developed conversation that is helpful to the hearer. So moving on, these introductory pages talk about why we are learning with the prepositions. We also have a list of prepositions that she wants the children to memorize, which will help them later on in their studies because it will just be easier to go ahead and strike out those prepositions and prepositional phrases that help them to key in on the objects, the subjects, the nouns, and the verbs. We even have a little introductory game if you'd like to do that, and then we jump on into the work. On this side, on the left side, you'll always see the teacher's kind of answer page, their little key, so that you can quickly grade your students' work. And if you were using this for your student, this is technically like the teacher's edition. If you were using this for your student, you could give them this book, and then you can just go over it with them later to grade. But if you don't want them to have the answers here, you can get the separate student book if you like. So as you see, all the answers for each of the workbook pages will be on the left-hand side. Here we're going into our prepositions. We have some scrambles that make it fun to learn. And here we go into understanding those key methods that she is using to help us to really flesh out grammar, speaking about the prepositional phrases and so on. And then we have that practice here, multiple pages of prepositional practice. Compounds, infinitives, verbs, understanding why certain things are the way they are in English, and she's giving helpful hints to the teacher along the way, as you can see here, helping us to see if there are any confusing points, what we can do to avoid it. I'll just give you a quick flip through. As you can see, we are still in prepositions because it's so very important. Now we go on into direct objects, verbs, irregular verbs, and then we have a nice list here, which I go ahead and laminate, print out, and give to my students in their own spiral bound edition that I make up, because I use the PDF format for their work and go ahead and make copies that way. So what I did was I obtained this edition for myself as my teacher's guide, and then I obtained the PDF format of this same book, and then went ahead and just printed out the student pages. So that's another way that you can do it. And I find that one is cost effective because I can print the pages out over and over again easily and not have to worry about trying to get this book on the printer in a way that you can easily print. It's not often easy to go ahead and print copies when your books are still bound. So having that PDF copy, I find, is very helpful. So I'll keep on going forward. Irregular verbs, direct objects, linking verbs, future tenses, verb tenses, perfect tense. These are things that you're not going to necessarily readily see in your common grammar and English books, but they are so very important to see and understand. Nouns. And the work is not extensive on each page really. They are short, so it's easy to kind of learn in chunks. And that's how I learn best myself, by having short chunks of information that I can then really reflect upon and get down and deep into the information in that way, and come back if I need to have further clarification. More nouns and review, and then towards the back you're going to see that you have a cumulative test at the end of the chapters. So that is also helpful as well, going over each of the units. Adjectives, predicate adjectives, your test, and so on. So this book is quite helpful and useful, and I really like that it again is non-grade level, so you can use it amongst many different students easily, because these are the things that they are going to be teaching you no matter what level you have, and it's nice that it kind of spans a spectrum. It's also nice that they have some rules within the book as well that you can copy and use as a guide, giving to your students as well if you'd like. And then it ends with learning how to write your letters. Friendly letters, a business letter, addressing an envelope, and so forth. And then you have your index. And then this is nice at the back. You have correlation of Easy Grammar Plus workbook with the Easy Grammar Plus Teacher Edition, so you can then figure out what page your student is on and where it correlates in your teacher book. So that is your Easy Grammar Plus. Now let's take a look at my students' daily grams, and I'll just start with the 5th grader option that we have. So we've already started, so I'll go ahead and skip over some of the pages that we've already done, but I'm just trying to give you an essence of the format. So on each day the format is the same. You have capitalization, punctuation, parts of speech, words, analogies, sentence combining. These areas in the middle, however, do switch up, but you are always going to be seeing capitalization, punctuation, and at least your analogy, sentence combining. But depending on what they want you to master in a review, you're going to have a switch up here in the middle. As you can see here, over here we had capitalization, punctuation. Now we have parts of speech but adjectives instead of verbs. And instead of words, we're going to have prefixes, roots, and suffixes. So you have different things that your child will be seeing, and it makes it so that it's not boring and it's short. They are literally lessons that you can do in about 10 to 15 minutes, just depending on your students' ability and how they progress through. But my girls are really enjoying it, and I am too, because it really gives a nice review and really hones in on mastering your grammar. And it pairs very well, I find, with the Easy Grammar Plus book, because this is technically a review of what you would have been learning in the Easy Grammar books. So the daily grams is quite nice to give to a student that does not like to be bogged down with repetitive, multi pages of work, but nice and short, quick review, especially if you're pairing it with the Easy Grammar, which I would recommend doing because I find that they really go well together and solidify the topics. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I set up the book here. And by the way, in the daily grams, you have the answers in the back. This is the Daily Grams teacher guide that I gave to my students, and I did that so that it's easy because it will include the answers, but now it's not on the left side, it's in the back. So that makes it easy, so that if you're worried about somebody looking at the answers, they literally have to turn all the way back. And you know, many children are not necessarily going to be doing that. If they are, you can technically leave the answers out, especially if you have gotten the PDF copy. You just don't copy that part. And then in the back, we have our easy writing. I'm really making it so that it's a system that we're doing, and this is where it begins. So we have subjects in a series to start us off, and let me go ahead and show you how it looks in the book. Easy. Here we are with the easy writing, and this one is also nice too because it's going to be covering 2 levels. Level 1, lower or upper elementary, and level 2, upper elementary, junior high, or high school. So it literally spans the whole of elementary on up through high school. And this is really cost effective, which if you've watched my videos before, you know I'm all about sustainability and cost effectiveness. It says here, easy writing, teaching students how to write more complex sentence structures. So not just the everyday run-of-the-mill things that you'll be finding in your writing books, but just a little bit more to really lift your writing and ability to express yourself in a grander way. We have units here. We also have an answer key in this book. We have semicolon construction, items in a series, appositives, participle phrases, having plus past participle construction, subordinate clauses, so much. And that was level 1. Then we have level 2, and in each book we always have instructions for the teacher, which is quite helpful. We even have here author's confession and plea. She said, I must confess that preliminary pages of text have often been cast aside or perused carelessly in my haste to teach. Ultimately, results would have been achieved more readily had I taken time to study those vital recommendations placed at the beginning of most textbooks. And she is quite right. Sometimes we just want to get into things and we do not take time to read through the instructions and the way things are set up. But that would really decrease our stress if we took time to go through. So it really has some good and valuable information here for the teacher, how to prepare and so forth. Process of writing, editing, and so on. Even skills for effective teaching. And by the way, this was so wonderful. When I purchased one thing, you can actually get a free book for parents to learn how to effectively teach grammar and build on our own skills and lack that many of us may have. So there was really even another book that came for free, which I'll grab in a moment to show you. But the book is also simply laid out and short lessons that you can easily do in one day's time. Subjects in a series starts us out. Simple, easy rules to follow. It talks about the subject of a sentence is who or what the sentence is about. Sometimes we talk about two things. Example, a lion and a tiger are in the jungle. We are talking about a lion and a tiger. Lion and tiger are the compound subject of the sentence. Usually we use and to combine subjects. We place one line under each subject of the sentence. Just to give you a little gist of how things are worded here. It is simple, broken down very easily, and it's not overwhelming, and that is so very important. English sometimes can be very overwhelming and cumbersome for students to get through because there's just too much being given at once. But these are literally short and simple lessons, just in the same vein of the daily grams and the easy grammar. So I find that using the 3 as a system is really going to be very effective for us, and so far we are enjoying it. And what I do is I do the daily grams and the easy grammar Monday through Thursday, and then I would do the writing one day per week to break it up a little bit. And the daily grams for grade 7 is very similar to that of grade 5. Same breakdown, capitalization, punctuation, and then a middle portion here that will give you a review, and then you have always at the bottom combining sentences, which right here every day your student is gaining more skill and more finesse in being able to write a sentence and really finding a nice nuance, their own rhythm in making sentences really nice and stand out in their own creative way. So every day they will get that. Every time they touch upon these things, they will have this writing exercise. And over time, imagine how much writing that would be, because we are going over 180 days. My students like it so much that they honestly do 2 lessons per day sometimes. It just depends. So if your students are really enjoying it, if there are days where you want to do something else, you want to take a break, it's easy to do that, especially when you are going for mastery, because you're always going to come back and return. And if they're really enjoying it and really cruising through it quickly, it's easy to take a break. Here is the free book that I received with my order. It's Easy Grammar's Guide for Parents. Improve Your Grammar in Minutes. This book is for adults who want to ensure that they use correct grammar without identifying parts of speech, diagramming, or learning concepts such as noun plurals or possessives. The focus is on concepts that influence how one speaks. So this was quite nice. It is tailored for the parent that really wants to have a good foundation and understanding of the grammar, the rules, and just the principles that they can then go ahead and teach with comfort and confidence to their children. Now, this book did not have any sample pages online, so I wouldn't be able to show all of the inside. I'm not sure if there's any issue with showing the inside, but just know that she goes ahead and tries to just help to give comfort to the parent in knowing that doing this step is really commendable, and it will definitely help your children because you have set yourself up to be ready to teach because you have that understanding. So it goes into some different areas that you want to strengthen for yourself: verbs, adjectives, pronouns, subjects, sentence construction, participles, grammar, questions that kind of go throughout the book, assessments, and so forth, so that you can test yourself and practice. So this is also a very nice thing that was made available for free. So I hope that this video has been helpful for you in going through the different levels of Easy Grammar, going through Easy Grammar Plus, and how it is non-grade level and how you can use it for different grades, your daily gram, simple and easy 10-minute lessons, your easy writing, which makes writing strong and really foundational for your children, and how I'm using it as a 3-book system. If you have any questions about anything, please do feel free to leave it in the comments below. I would love to share more information with you, and you can easily find more information about the Easy Grammar system online on their website at easygrammar.com. It is one of the award-winning and highly rated systems for teaching grammar, and I can definitely see why. I hope that you will tune in again as I share more finds from my homeschool that I just love sharing with you. And until next time, do all you can to be more and more sustainable, and be blessed.